regarding source, around 78% of the biodiesel is soya. I'm sorry, that's in Portuguese. So the other one is fat. That's other kind of oil, cooking oil or something like that. And here in green is cotton. Yes, we have a policy for castor oil in Brazil. Castor oil is a kind of plantation that that is resistant for water. The castor oil don't need too much water, so that is suitable for the draw part of Brasilia area, yeah, the sertão. So, but the companies are buying castor oil of the smallholders, but the problem is the price in the internal market for pharmaceutical and chemical industry is higher than in the biodiesel industry. So that means they are buying the biodiesel production, yes, in order to have the incentives from the government. They are buying castor oil, but they are paying for the smallholders higher prices for the castor oil, but they are selling this castor oil in the chemical industry, not for biodiesel production. Yeah, so that means the social labor helped to organize the castor oil small farmers. They are now better organized. They have a demand for their production, but it's not being produced biodiesel from castor oil. So regarding ethanol and biodiesel, technology is well known. Regarding castor oil, yes, what we can learn, because a lot of people say, okay, we can do biodiesel from every kind of species of plant. No, it's not so. So regarding castor oil, for example, only 30% in the mix of vegetable oil that is transesterified. So the auto industry in Brazil does not give guarantees for castor oil above this amount. Why? Because the castor oil, they oxidize, yes, and they produce a kind of gum that has a negative impact in the engines. So then you cannot have more than 30%. So regarding so that means that sometimes you say, okay, we can produce oil from this, and then no, you have to test, you have to apply in the engines, you have to see if you have to adapt some kind of engines. Some people say, okay, you can use a straight vegetable oil in Africa, okay, but you have to adapt the engine, you have to know how much you have to maintain the operation maintenance and your engine, if you increase, if you not. So that's a question that has to be approached. Yes. So for example, regarding biodiesel, what we are having some maintenance problems for the electricity generation. In isolated system in Amazon regions is very humid. So and then the biodiesel oxidize, and then it's just clog all the tube, the pipe in the electricity generation, in the turbine, in the generator. So that means, of course, that's a kind of problem that the ethanol industry faced also some years ago. And now the biodiesel industry is quite new. So there are some technological problems that we have to still to research, to identify the problem and give some technological solution for this, and that will come. Just I want to point out that the experience is really important. Yes. So another problem that we have with biodiesel is the glycerin as byproduct. Yes. So glycerin has a market value, and if you produce a lot of biodiesel, so then the glycerin will be a waste, and you have to see what you can do with that. So Brazil has also some pilot project with straight vegetable oil in rural areas, but anyway, working more or less. Regarding ethanol, the technology aspect today is very well addressed. So we have diversification in the industry, second generation ethanol, some R&D projects in order to use ethanol in bus, vinasse biodigestion, and also ethanol for electricity generation. We are doing some R&D project in this area. So regarding agriculture aspect, that I think that is the most important for Africa. That is the first that Africa has to develop. For biofuels, you have today around 6,000 small farmers. But as the ethanol industry is located more in the south of Brazil, so the logistic aspect can be better addressed than with the biodiesel that's more spread, so it's not concentrated. Regarding productivity, the Brazil has done some achievements in the last years. So and also we have only 5.5% of total land on the sugarcane production in Brazil. Also regarding biodiesel, the biodiesel is coming from large scale soybean production, so that shows that it's easy when you have a large industry. It's easy to organize the chain, the logistical aspect. Yes, we are doing efforts to include the small farmers, but we need still efforts, because there is some interruption in the supply of seeds for biodiesel production, so it's not a permanent market. You have sometimes, you don't have. Of course, even if the company gives the seeds and help and show how they can do, there are other things that have to be addressed with these smallholders. That is the organization for the agriculture, for the land, yes, how they can better work in the land. So regarding institutional logistical aspect, Brazil has also a lot of institutions that is working on this area, and that help consolidate not only the market but also the crops and the land, the agricultural chain and everything. Yes, we have the Embrapa that I think that is really important in Brazil, because in Embrapa we have today a revolution in the agricultural sector in Brazil because of Embrapa. Yes, is a research and development company from the Brazilian government. And that's interesting. We have also government and auto industry testing different kind and percentage of biodiesel and different mix of vegetable oil. This is very important to see what's happening in the engineers. Yes, we have genetic selection, germplasm bank. So species that are well adapted to soil condition, climate condition, and that's one thing that jatropha, that a lot of people say that is also very good for Africa. Embrapa does not recommend it. Embrapa does not recommend, because for large scale production, for large scale production. There is no security. For smallholder, it's okay because you can intercrop. So, but for large scale, no. Yeah. And also another thing that is important, I think that is very important to address for Africa, because in Brazil, the logistics of blend is done by the fuel distribution company. So, in order to guarantee the quality of the fuel, so you can also have more decentralized blending, yes, but then you have more costs to guarantee the quality of the fuel, the mixing. So that's the price. I think that's the last. I'm sorry. Yeah, so just to address, that's how you are paying to the end consumer, to the producers in Brazil. Yeah, so I told about that. So that's some key points emerge. That is the discussion if really the experience of Brazil is reliable for Africa, because Brazil is a large-scale industry and is based on a science research and industry approach. So Africa maybe you have to consider a small scale. So, but then you have to address questions like logistics and price for the consumer. So, then you have to think what it's really can work well for Africa in the context of Africa, of course. Yes, because although there are similarities with climate and soil, the realities is completely different, and then you have to think about that. So, okay, just I think, yeah, I finished. So, sorry.